Hello, YouTube. Oh, shoot. Let me see if I could do this again. Hello, YouTube. It's very weird looking into a camera and talking, but I've been trying to record YouTube videos for the last couple years, and at this point in time, it's honestly just myself showing up and recording these videos. So today's episode is about, wait, before we get into today's episode, look at this sketch I made a couple days ago. That's let me see if you can see it. It's cool. Well, I like it. I don't know if anyone else would like it, but I personally like it. But there is no episode. I just thought I would turn on the camera and finally start recording, and it would give a little synopsis of my day. No, synopsis. Give a little bit of what happened today. So yeah, I ended up calling a bunch of real estate agencies, talking to them about their business problems, trying to solve some of their problems. Outbound calls. Wasn't bad. It was honestly quite informative. Spoke to some really old people who sell really expensive property buildings in New York. So that was interesting. Too many but that really was fascinating, just getting into a conversation with about a bunch of people in real estate. I would love to communicate more through the medium of YouTube, and I prefer YouTube. I really do. Some people prefer Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and it worked for them. And I believe, or I'm a big believer in using whatever platform you feel most comfortable with. For me, it is YouTube at this current moment. And yeah, that's really it. I don't really have, I had a cinnamon roll, but I shouldn't really have done that. Not really. I should have, in other words, made my own cinnamon roll, but I like the cinnamon roll that I bought, so that's good. That's +5 for me for actually going to buy a cinnamon roll. What else happened today? Went on a run. That was nice. Did the whole Prospect Park. A decent run. Took around 30 minutes. Longer than I would like, but much more progress than I have ever had in the past. And I enjoyed it. Honestly, I enjoy running nowadays. I really love to get more bike rides in, but this might sound like an excuse, but I really need a new bike fit, or I need to go through the process of getting a bike fit done so that I could take advantage of my current bike to its max. I've been riding longer and longer, and I'll ride a bike. I ride my Canyon Endurance. I ride it for, on average, most days, about 2 hours. And I want to start riding the bike for maybe some days 5 hours. I just don't think it's set up for that right now. I could do it, but then I'll be sore and I won't feel like coming back to the bike. And to me, the whole point of exercise is to enjoy the exercise. Recently, I've been trying to get back into rock climbing, and not even get back into rock climbing. I've just been trying to go back to the climbing gym a little bit more frequently. And since this is the first YouTube video that I'm actually putting together this week, this month, I might as well share that I love doing activities, physical activities, and they really allow me to be present, honestly, at this point in time. I apologize for not looking into the camera at this point. I apologize for not looking into the camera up until now, I was watching my screen. I was literally watching my screen instead of looking into the lens. I'm trying to get used to this format of talking to people and just saying what's on my mind for maybe 5-10 minutes straight. I don't really have much to share on today's episode of vlogging. If I could even call this vlogging, I guess I could call this vlogging, but I don't really have much to say on today's episode of vlogging. I hope to vlog throughout the rest of the year, every day, but in reality, I don't believe I'll do that. I believe I could do this for the rest of the summer every day, and as the summer ends, probably once a week with actually proper videos. Why do I believe that I could do this for the rest of the summer and not the rest of the year? I want to improve the quality of what I make. I'm a big believer in improving in the whole YouTube scene. I'm a believer in making a video as good as it possibly could be. But right now, to get over the hump of perfectionism, I've just decided to open up photo booth on my MacBook and just record and just talk and see what comes out of this, see how I sound, see how I feel, get used to little things, get used to looking into the camera lens more directly, reduce my likes, arms, and buts, and not be so perfect about everything, you know? Sometimes we're all in this world trying to be so perfect. And I get why. The internet is really doing a number on society. But life ain't perfect. In the continuation of the yapping, or in the continuation of me chatting up, I just realized my Snow Peak camping set in the back. I really want to go camping. I haven't had the time to go camping this summer. I would love to go camping next week. I'm just creating a mental barrier in my head as to why I can't. I have a hackathon on Sunday, so that takes away the possibility of me going camping on Sunday. I could probably go camping Monday to Wednesday, Monday to Thursday-ish, and then, but the thing is, my neighbor for the last year has been asking me to have dinner with her. Well, she's been asking I and my wife to have dinner with her on the rooftop whenever it gets warm, and I've been trying to get this dinner set up before we move, and she doesn't know we're moving in August. So in her head, it's like, in her head, she's saying eventually we'll get to this dinner, and I would really love to get it good before that. But the thing is, if I don't get it this week, I have another thing to do next week, which is my dad is visiting in town, and that's going to take up some time. So I can't really do that weekend with her either. And then the weekend after that, probably the weekend I'm moving, maybe 2 weeks after that. But summer goes fast, honestly. Things fly by during the summer. It's so relentlessly go. And honestly, I just started enjoying the summer last week. And the reason why I started enjoying it last week was because I actually started meeting up with friends a lot more last week. The previous couple of weeks was just one event to another event of graduation, because my wife just graduated, and I didn't really have time to do anything else. So graduation parties for her and her friends, and going from her graduation to other people's graduation parties took up a lot of time, weeks, and just lots of other personal family stuff just going on over the coming weeks. But summer flies by. Honestly, it's insane. I wish I weren't moving from this apartment. Somehow in my brain, I still feel like it's possible to not move, but reality can can throw a curveball as an individual and be like, and say to you, you have to move, even though the lease renewal has gone out. My line of thinking is really just, you know what, if I figure out the solution to my other problem, or if I figure out solutions to the problem I have that is causing me to move, I would just tell the building, yo, can you just send me that lease renewal again, and I'll sign it this time. I've been living here for 3 years right now, so it is home. It's a little bittersweet to move, because also at the same time I'm not finding the apartment I want in the city right now. So that's a whole process. All the buildings are too new, and I don't really love the new buildings. And all the buildings with quote unquote charm are not being updated enough because the landlords don't want to update them. I've thought about getting a realtor involved, but I haven't found the right realtor yet, because there might be the right realtor at a company like, I'm not going to say their name here because nobody gave me any promotion. No, that's a joke. I'm just not calling anybody's name out here, but there's a company that has a Netflix show that might have a good realtor, and that Netflix show is really good advertising for them. Partially because I've also been watching the person on YouTube since before they had that Netflix show. If you know, you know. But yeah, I guess this is what it's like to just talk straight into the camera for minutes on end and not necessarily filter anything out. What else could I say? I'm reading new books, but I haven't read in the last week. I have done a lot more audiobooks than physical reading in the last week. Last week alone. I would say this week there is just one book on my shelf to read, and it's still there, and I hope to get to it. Not I hope to get to it. I just have to schedule time for reading it this Saturday. I would love to read it in one go on Saturday and call it a day. But now I've been talking in front of this camera for the last 12 minutes and 42 seconds. It's time to bounce. See you guys tomorrow.